Okay, now if you have one plate, copper plate, the thickness they have given, it is 45, and here temperature 350, and one side it is giving 50 only. Okay, now take the thermal conductivity of copper as 370 watt per meter degree centigrade. Now calculate the heat transfer. Now tell me how you will calculate your heat transfer. Tell. Because we can first of all understand what is the significance of conduction. Okay, we have talked about conduction means it will happen into solid surface, but solid should be stationary, not in flowing motion. So in this question it is clearly mentioned that if you have one copper plate, now you can see it is written here, copper plate, thickness given, temperature is given, just apply Fourier's law of heat conduction. Just tell me the answer. Anyone, please? Yes or no? Okay. You have to start with Fourier's law of heat conduction. Fourier's law of heat conduction, Q equal to minus sign. Why minus sign? Because you are calculating on decreasing direction. Okay, it is showing temperature, it is decreasing from here to here. That's why minus sign. K is the thermal conductivity of your copper, and A is the area. Okay, area, and then del T by del X. Now just solve this problem. Please solve this problem and tell how much will be the heat transfer per unit area. Tell. Okay, anyone, please? Anyone? Just write down the all the values which here it is given, and just apply this formula, that Q equal to minus Ka del T by del X. Here we are looking for heat transfer per unit area. What does that mean? This particular portion will go here. Okay, heat transfer this whole unit per unit area, it will go here. Then what you have to do, Q is equal to Q by Q. This is capital Q. You have to put the different notation, Q by A. Sorry, Q by A. When you will divide, you will get your heat transfer per unit area. Just solve, tell me. Each and everything is given, that K, you know, 370 is the thermal conductivity. Delta T, 50, how much is from here to here? 50 minus 350 multiplied by, this is your delta X. How much is the thickness? It is given 45 mm. Then convert into meter, 0.045. Then you have got this much of the heat transfer will be there. Okay. Now there is one more problem. Please solve this problem and tell. And there is one thing, today we have lab. Okay, in evening I have seen your curriculum, they have floated new timetable, and according to that timetable today we have a lab. Now tell how you will solve this problem. Read first. A plain wall is 150 mm thickness and its wall area is 4.5 mm square. If its conductivity is 9.35 watt per meter degree centigrade, and surface temperature are steady at 150 degree to 45 degree degree centigrade, determine heat flow across the plane wall. Tell. Any idea? Please tell yes, no, how you will approach, how you will solve. Thickness, you know, this is the thickness. From here to here, it is given 150 mm. Area, you know, this is the area they have given. This one is your area. Its conductivity, the solid material conductivity, it is given. This is solid material conductivity. And temperature difference, here you can imagine, here is 150-degree temperature, and here will be the 45-degree centigrade. Now tell how you will approach and how you will apply Fourier's law of heat conduction. Tell anyone, please. Okay. Now here it is given that plate thickness, it is giving 150 mm. Then how much will be in meter? 0.15 meter, correct? Then area, it is known to you, 4.5 mm square. Then determine the how much is the difference. Now delta T, thermal conductivity is known to you. Just apply Fourier's law of heat conduction, you will get. This is very simple problem. Q equal to minus Ka del T by del X, minus Ka delta T, how much it will be? 105. You have already calculated this thing. How much is the length? Length you already know, and K and A. Okay, same thing, determine the temperature gradient in the flow direction. Now how you will determine flow direction? You know this value, you have already determined. And temperature gradient means how much will be the change in temperature with respect to your position. Okay, means how much you are having that the length of your plate or length of your that sheet where you are looking for the temperature gradient. Then delta T by delta X, apply that thing. Very simple, correct? Minus Q divided by Ka, correct? Q you already know, K that it is given in your question paper 9.35, and multiplied by area. How much will be the area? 4.5. You have got your temperature gradient. Okay. Okay, I'm expecting yes from you guys. Please respond. Don't worry if you don't know anything, just let me know. I will tell all these. Okay, these two questions are based on very fundamental theorem, which is called a Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, when you are talking conduction, then definitely this theorem will come into the picture. Now, today we will talk about convection. Okay, very good mechanism. If you are designing any kind of bioreactor or you are dealing at the high temperature, definitely this term will come. Conduction and convection very frequently come into that in the designing part of the bioreactor. Now, first of all, we will go through little bit theories, and we will look what is the exact mechanism to transfer or to flow the heat from the higher to the lower temperature. Okay, now let me read few lines. First of all, the convection heat transfer mode is comprised of two. I have highlighted each and every point. Keep this thing in mind that I have highlighted this thing. Okay, just read it all very carefully. These are the mechanism. Okay, and in few conditions that conduction and convection little bit similar. Okay, so keep this mechanism in mind that when you want to distinguish both mechanism, it should be clear in your mind. Now, what are the two mechanisms? In addition to energy transfer due to random molecular motion, as I already discussed that here, that in the conduction, the main reason for heat transfer due to the random molecular motion. Okay, and the energy is also transferred by the bulk or macroscopic or motion of the fluid. Okay, have you got my point? We were looking for that in the conduction, that when the molecular motion will be very high, at that particular point heat transfer will be very high. Let me show. First of all, in your last lecture we have discussed this thing. Now you can see, due to the random molecular motion, this will be the high temperature, this particular zone, and this will be your lower temperature. Then what will happen at this particular point? Random molecular motion. What will happen? Due to random molecular motion, heat transfer will occur. Means this molecule collide with this molecule. They are having high temperature. Then this high temperature will transfer to this molecule. Then this molecule strike with this molecule. It will transfer the heat. Then it will cross through this zone and it will come towards the lower molecular, lower temperature plate. Now what is happening here? We are looking for, here we are saying, of course there will be the random molecular motion, diffusion will be there, but in addition to that there will be the bulk motion. Bulk motion, what does that mean? It will occur due to motion of fluid. Okay, now we will, first of all, we will directly go to what I am talking and what it look like regarding the mechanism. Let now have a look. And one more thing, in your curriculum you first read the fluid mechanism, correct? Fluid mechanics, after that fluid mechanics you are dealing with heat transfer, because there is the similarity between fluid mechanism and the fluid mechanics and the heat transfer unit. Okay, what is the similarity? Just have a look. In the fluid mechanics, we have discussed that if the fluid will flow like this direction, let me make it line. If the fluid is flowing in this direction, we have talked about, here will be the here will be no slip condition. Okay, sorry for this. No slip condition means velocity at the surface of the plate or the any kind of surface, here will be velocity 0. Now have a look that velocity profile, how it look like. Here the velocity profile, it is like this now. Okay, now the second part, we will come to the heat transfer unit. Now have a look what will happen in heat transfer. Here you are claiming that here the temperature is very high, then heat will transfer from this direction to this direction. It is clearly mentioned, Q, heat will transfer from higher to lower, and your fluid, it is moving in this direction. Then how you will draw the profile? What is, how it look like? It will be like this only. Here temperature will be very high and it will be in a reducing pattern. Now see, and at the infinite means ambient. Okay, I think both having little bit similarity. Here we are in the mechanics, we have talked about no slip condition, velocity 0, but here the temperature will be very high and gradient will be like this only at a curvy nature. These things, same thing will happen here also. Now we have talked about that how two type of mechanism. One will be the random molecular motion, another one due to the motion of the fluid. Okay, now these things we have described, that velocity profile and bonding condition. Just go through notes, you will get to know. Now here the convection heat transfer mode is sustained both by random molecular motion and by bulk motion of the fluid within the boundary layer. We have discussed about. Okay, now the contribution due to the random molecular motion dominates near the surface where the fluid velocity is low. Now here let me highlight few point more. That random molecular motion, where it will occur? Near the surface where the velocity is low, means at this particular zone. Here will be in more random molecular motion. Okay, in fact at the interface between the surface and the fluid, y equal to 0, where the velocity is 0. Now here you see, here will be the random molecular motion more, and the contribution due to the bulk motion originate from the fact that boundary layer grows. As the boundary layer grows, as the flow propagate in the x direction, now you have a look, fluid will move in this direction. As the boundary layer grows, at this particular point will be the bulk motion will be there. Okay, when the fluid will flow in convection, you have to keep two things in your mind, that one will be the random molecular motion which occur at the surface of your hotted plate or heated plate, and at the above this particular zone, here will be that bulk motion will be there. Okay, I think you have got little bit idea about the how the conduction and convection takes place. Okay, now we will how the convection takes place in your fluid, or it also can happen when you will talk about the gases. Then how you will define, how you will classify your convection, because convection, it is frequently used in your day-to-day life. Okay, conduction as well. Now, first, the convection heat transfer may be classified according to the nature of the flow, means how the fluid you will apply to a particular system. That is called as the nature of the flow. We speak of the force convection when the flow is caused by external means such as fan, pump, or atmospheric wind. As an example, the use of fan to provide the forced convection air cooling of the hot electrical component on a stack or the printer circuit board. Means what does that mean? Means if in your computer or in your laptop you are providing a kind of fan which cool your electronic devices, which is not because as the circuit can heat in, it can generate that the heat, and due to the generation of the heat it can burst or it can make the short circuit or any kind of casualties that can happen. So generally in your computer or any kind of circuit board we are applying a small fan. What is that do? What it do? It apply the circulation force or circulation air, and it transmit the temperature from the higher temperature to the lower temperature, means it throws that warm air outside from your computer or PC or any kind of thing. And generally you get or you find this kind of fan in your that laptop, in your computer as well. So here it is called as the forced convection. But how you will and what you will talk about, if you'll talk about the natural convection, or it is also called as the free convection. I think here the free convection, the flow is induced by the buoyancy force. Now how we can predict how it can happen in natural convection? Can anyone give any idea about the natural convection? As I already told, force convection means you are applying some kind of force, like in your computer or in your PC you are applying external that air circulator. Okay, what about that natural convection? Any idea? Means where the air will flow naturally without applying any kind of external force. Please give an example. Okay, do you have any idea? Please tell yes or no. No, please respond yes or no. Okay, okay. If you are talking about that the natural convection, which is very frequently used in your day-to-day life example, let me show one picture. Can anybody tell what is this? I'm looking for your response. Can anybody tell what is the how means what are these things? Anyone please?
Transformer.
Transformer, correct. Thank you for your response. First of all, these things have a look. This whole transformer, it is much more bigger. But if you will see the exact phenomena, if you'll find the major component, it is near about only in a small space. But now you can see this part, that long fins, which is called as the fins. Why they are applying in this direction? What is the significance of this? If you will see, I think you might have seen in your roadside that there is the small transformer, but it was attached with long that fins, which is called as the fin. We are applying in vertical position. What is the physical significance? These all engineering generally people do theoretical work, then only they design any kind of transformer or any kind of car or any kind of vehicle. So the natural that natural convection, let me make it bigger. Now have a look. This is the very long fin, and which is near about the height of a person. Now you can see, but whole portion, if we'll talk about exact transformer, this is the small portion which is called as the transformer, but this longer fins has been applied for convection heat transfer. Okay, If you'll see any time in your in your nearby your place, just see properly what how it is looks like, means we are applying longer fin. Okay, now we will talk about the mechanism. What is the exact mechanism, how it works, that your transformer, that how the heat transfer taking place. Sorry, let me give brief uh, that mechanism, that if here the heat transfer, here the temperature will be very high inside your that here generally we are using the oil. Okay, it will transmit the heat from the surface, and by using the natural convection. How natural convection? Here the temperature will be very high at this rod, at the fin. Okay, temperature is very high, so it will reduce the density around the fins at this particular zones, mean these are the fins where the air can easily cross through that fins, and this particular nearby that surface here the density will reduce. If the density will reduce, then buoyancy force, it will move that all the air position, or the all the warm air, it will go upward direction. Okay, okay, I think you have got little idea. Let me show one picture. Now this is the force convection. I think this picture is force convection. I think you have got an idea that if there is the some kind of electronic chips, if you apply some kind of external force, a fan, anything else, you can transfer your heat. Now have a look. We are talking about, this is the long fin. These are the fins. How it works, as I already told, that when these particular part, here will be the temperature will be very high, and this particular, these zones, okay, here the temperature will be very high, then around this the density will be lower. At this particular point density will be very low. Then what will happen? Due to the buoyancy force, now here we have already mentioned that buoyancy driven flow, means due to the density difference, it will automatically go in upward direction. And this is the reason generally transformer fins are applied in vertical position, not in horizontal position. Okay, horizontal position it can be applied if you need much more higher heat transfer, because without applying any kind of external source, without applying any kind of fan, heater, fan, or any kind of compressor, you are easily transferring heat from in the direction of the flow. It can be anywhere. Okay, means you are transferring your heat due to the convection. Now this is the example of natural heat convection. Okay, I'm not going too much in depth, but we have given just idea that how the heat and that the transformer use the uh, natural convection. Okay, I think you have got little bit idea. Okay, now apart from this force convection and that natural convection, there is the two more convections, which is called as that boiling and what is called boiling and condensation. Okay, in the boiling, generally what we are looking for here, we are looking for the density will difference will happen. Either we will apply some external source, heat will transfer from higher to the lower. But here in the second boiling and condensation, what will happen? We will talk about latent heat of vaporization, or you can say the latent heat exchange. What does that mean? Latent term comes into the picture when the gas, or when the liquid get converted into the vapor, means where the phase change or any kind of phase transfer will happen, then only latent word will come. Keep this thing in mind throughout your career, that if the latent word will come, means there is the phase change. Either it is coming from solid to liquid, means that ice to that gas, or ice to liquid, and liquid to gas, then latent word will come. Okay, now here what will happen into the boiling? We have mentioned here two special cases of interest in this text are that the boiling and condensation. For example, the convection heat transfer results from the fluid motion induced by vapor bubble generated at the bottom of the pan of boiling or condensation of water vapor on the outer surface of the colder pipe. Now have a look what I am talking about. Now here it is the hot plate. You will heat. What will happen? That it will directly convert into the vapor. Okay, if you heat uh, higher the boiling point of the water or any kind of solvent, then what will happen? It will convert into the vapor, and this particular zone, it will directly come in that latent heat come into the picture, and here the convection will takes place. Now here what will happen? Here when the cold water will cross through this pipe, what will happen? Here the condensation will take place, and that the droplet or the water droplets will go down from the surface of the pipe. Okay. Okay, so we have discussed four type of convection process. One is the free convection. Sorry, this one is the free convection. This one is the forced convection, and we have talked about the boiling, and we have talked about the condensation. Okay, now to explain this phenomena, we have to derive the expression. So here it is called as the Newton's law of cooling. Okay, then which it this mechanism defined the convection theorem. How it is defining? Q equal to HA Ts minus Tf. Okay, Ts temperature from the surface, Tf means temperature of the fluid, and H is the coefficient of the convection heat transfer. Okay, if you want to determine how much it will be that the heat transfer, then H equal to Q divided by A delta T. These are the units. Okay, now I think you have got little bit idea. Now we will solve one problem. Now just give me that answer of this particular problem. Tell that a hot plate area, it is given 1 meter multiplied by 1.5 meter, is maintained at 300-degree temperature. The air 20 degrees centigrade blows over the plate. Okay, if the convective heat transfer coefficient is 20 watt per meter square centigrade, calculate the rate of heat transfer. Tell and give me the answer. This is the formula. Just solve. Tell how much it will be. Q equal to HA Ts minus Tf. Okay, apply this formula. H you already know. H temperature difference, T and surface, and the fluid you already know. Fluid or air, any kind of thing which is blowing or which is flowing in the motion direction. Now subtract all these things and just tell me the answer. How much will be your heat transfer? Tell.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So you told that today we also have a practical class scheduled.
Yes,
Can you,
yes.
can you please tell us when was the new timetable circulated?
When actually I have got mail yesterday night, I think. Yesterday night, yes. Or early in the morning.
Okay, sir, because none of us have received any mail as
Actually,
such. So we.
same query is mine also. I'm not pretty much sure, but let me ask first of all from ma'am, that Asima ma'am. Then only I will tell. Okay, na? I don't know too much think about it. Okay, na?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes.
If she will instruct me how we will perform our experiment, because definitely if you are reading fluid mechanics heat transfer, I definitely would say that please go for experimental part. Theory, that is okay, you can read from your book whatever you book you want to follow, but he experiment, that is very important, because you are not doing engineering, you guys are from technology. Okay, so definitely there should some experiment. Okay, let me ask, then only I will let you know. Okay, na? Okay, solve this problem and tell me the answer. Tell. You have to do nothing. There is very simple formula. Q is equal to HA TS minus TF. You have to determine the delta T. A, it is known to you, and H, you know. What you have to do? You have to just put all this value. 20 multiplied by 1.15. This is your area. Clearly mention area, hot plate area, and TS minus TF. Now you have got the answer. Very simple. Okay. Now there is one more problem. Yes, there should some one more problem. Now solve this problem. Please tell this time. Please, at least I need one answer from you. Please solve this problem. Let me read. A wire 1.5 mm in diameter, 150 mm long, is submerged in water at atmospheric pressure, and electric current is passed through the wire and is increased until the water boil at 100-degree temperature. Okay. Under the condition, if the convective heat transfer coefficient is 4500 watt per meter square degree centigrade, find how much electric power must be supplied to the wire to maintain the wire surface at 120 degree centigrade. Please tell this answer. If not, then just note it down, hold the problem, and just give me that answer. Please tell. How we will solve this problem. Please tell. Not tell, just give me that answer here. Just give me that answer. Conduction. Okay. Note it down. Apply very simple formula. Q equal to H A delta T. Please solve. Then only you will you would be able to solve in exam. Now, please solve. Area that we are talking about, that pipe. Okay, this is the pipe. How you will determine the area? Tell. A will be
Pi square R.
pi square r.
Pi R square.
Okay, but here it is written length and diameter it is given. Then length, it is known, 2 pi rl. Just apply this formula. 2 pi rl will be there, because we are talking about cylindrical, na? This will not be applicable. 2 pi rl will you have to apply. Length is given, diameter it is known to you. Not diameter, diameter is known to you. You can easily determine. Just tell what will be the answer. Please solve with your own hand. Then only you will get to know how you will solve these fundamental problems. Because if you'll solve the problem, then you will understand what we are studying and what I am talking. That okay, there is the temperature difference, how we can calculate the heat transfer flow, or how we can determine H or K thermal conductivity, anything, any property. So just solve. Okay, no problem. Just note down this problem and tomorrow will be your class. Just give me the answer. Okay. Okay. Then tomorrow we will discuss about the radiation. Then I am stopping for today only. So up to till date for the heat transfer, we have discussed about the conduction and the convection. We have solved few problems, and and definitely I want to take some quiz, because for unit 2 I have not taken any kind of quiz. So let me finish this unit 3, then we will take some quiz. Okay, I think that will be okay, because both are the interrelated. Fluid mechanics and your heat transfer, both are interrelated, and each and every part, if you'll read thoroughly, you will find that both are interrelated, means in term of equation, in term of definition as well. Similarly, let me show one rheology, that in your this your Fourier's law of heat conduction, it is little bit similar to your Newton's law of viscosity. Okay, here also that you are applying mu del u by del x. Okay, same thing, little similar. So there is a lot of means similarity in theories, and a lot of things are very similar, heat transfer and that fluid mechanics. Okay, now tomorrow we will talk about that radiation. Okay, please try to solve this problem and tell me the answer. Okay, I will wait
Sir,
for
the
your
answer is 63.6.
63.6. Let me note it down first. Where is my pen? 63.6.
6.
What is the unit?
What?
What is your name also?
Sir, Neeti Chaudhary.
Correct. Okay, then I'm expecting more answers from other student as well. I think Neeti have solved. Very good, excellent, excellent.
Sir,
Then
63.585 kilowatt.
okay, that is also correct. What is your name?
Sir, Aarti.
Okay, only one Aarti is there, na? Only one Neeti is there, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
because you guys have single name 2-3 people. Okay. I think I need more answer from you guys, or you have to tell me tomorrow. Okay. Okay, so then tomorrow we will discuss. Okay, just keep solving and just go through all these notes as well. Okay. And one more thing, if you have any query related to fluid mechanics and your heat transfer, then you can drop your mail, or you can WhatsApp me in my number. And there is one group also. You can ask. Okay. Then tomorrow we will talk about radiation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.